Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be pitting the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here versus the all-new Xiaomi Mi Pad 5 Pro. Now, we already did this against the regular Galaxy Tab S7, which is back there. And today we're going to do it against the S7 Plus. Let's see how that goes. Let's go ahead and jump into it. As always, of course, let's go ahead and start off with design here, starting off with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. It is a premium tablet, a premium Android tablet, and the very first thing you will notice about this guy here is that it's a huge tablet, 12.4 inches for the display. It feels solid, it's very dense, well balanced also, and that size truly makes it look and feel even thinner than it actually is. Again, that display is pretty massive. Even though you see me holding it with just one hand, it's very large, great for entertainment. And of course, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the physical features we have here, starting off with the quad speaker setup that we have there, tuned by AKG. So sound quality here is super crisp, very loud, also very full at the same time. On the back of the tablet, you have the S Pen pad along with the camera module right at the top there. You also get a USB Type-C port that pushes out video signal, and this is just great for multitasking, or more like for productivity. And unfortunately, on the Mi Pad 5 Pro here, you have a USB Type-C port, but it doesn't push out video signal, so you can, connect it to an external monitor and do all the extra stuff. But we're going to talk about that in just a moment when we get to it. This guy also does have a micro SD card slot, meaning you can expand that internal storage, and that option also is not available on the Mi Pad 5 Pro. Now let's jump on the design of the Mi Pad 5 Pro here. It's actually a pretty sleek tablet, very well built, also pretty solid, not as heavy. Well, this guy wasn't crazy heavy, but definitely lighter than that one, obviously because that one is already a larger tablet. Like I said, it has that very sleek look. It stands at 11 inches. Overall, look like an iPad Air just based off of the build. You have the power button that combos with a fingerprint sensor at the top of the tablet there. On this tablet, you do not have a micro SD card slot available, meaning you cannot expand the internal storage like it was the case with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. You have that USB Type-C port, like I mentioned, used pretty much for charging, pretty slow speed going in there, so you cannot push out video signal, you cannot extend the content of your tablet to an external display, which is pretty unfortunate. You have quad speaker setup also here, 2 here and 2 on the other side, except the tablet actually has 8 speakers. That is actually pretty impressive. Sound quality is also pretty good coming out of there, and also pretty loud. And finally, of course, it does support a stylus, also just like it is the case with the Tab S7 Plus. So they both support a stylus. Now let's go ahead and talk display. As far as display goes, there's a massive difference beyond just the size of this being much larger, 12.4 being much larger than 11 inches there. Beyond that, there's the fact that the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus is boasting a Super AMOLED display. I meant to say an OLED, but either way, either an OLED or Super AMOLED, whichever term you prefer. And the resolution on that is 1752 by 2800. So pretty high level of PPIs. Image quality, very, very crisp. It also supports high refresh rate at up to 120 Hertz. This guy does the same, high refresh rate at up to 120 Hertz also, except this is an IPS display in 11 inches. As I mentioned, color accuracy, pretty color accurate, I would say, but when it comes down to just image quality, crisp color and all that stuff, Galaxy Tab S7 way superior than what you have on the IPS. Well, maybe not way superior, but definitely a superior display on here compared to what you have on the Mi Pad 5 Pro here, meaning overall entertainment experience is just nicer on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. And by the way, you have HDR10 Plus supported on the Tab S7 Plus here versus HDR10 on the Mi Pad 5 Pro. And also, for some reason, Netflix doesn't play in full HD on the Mi Pad 5 Pro here. But like I said, for other content, image quality is also pretty nice on the Mi Pad 5 Pro. It just doesn't come to the level of the Galaxy Tab S7. And this is despite coming pretty close to the PPI count of the Tab S7. It's just that an OLED panel is an OLED panel. Now, in terms of performance, you're pretty much looking at something very similar to what we did with the Mi Pad 5 Pro against the Galaxy Tab S7, right? So you're looking at a Snapdragon 865 Plus on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here, and you are looking at a Snapdragon 870 on this guy here. So it is clocked slightly higher than what you have on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, which is pretty impressive given how much this thing is going for. They're both a couple with 6 gigs of RAM. So on the 865 Plus, you have 6 gigs of RAM to accompany that, and on the 870, on the Mi Pad 5 Pro, you also have 6 gigs of RAM to accompany that, and then you have next tier where you could go up to 8. Same deal on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here, meaning if you were to go up to the next tier, meaning 256 gigs of internal storage, that would afford you an additional 2 gigs of RAM, meaning your grand total will be 8 gigs of RAM on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus with 256 gigs of internal storage. Whereas on the Mi Pad 5 Pro, if you were to go up to 256 gigs, you still have the choice to stick with 6 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage, or go to a third tier that would offer you 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs. And by the way, if this is your first time visiting, I'm certainly hoping that you're enjoying the content so far. And if you are enjoying the content, I truly appreciate that. Please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel. Again, I truly appreciate that. All right, so going back to the way both tablets perform, it's just, excellent performance, I would say, coming from either one of these two. So light, medium, even heavy tasks. Heavy tasks would be where you might notice some difference, but in terms of just regular day-to-day, you won't notice any difference at all. And when you get to heavier tasks, like, opening, some stuff might open a little slightly faster on here when compared to the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here. And I'm talking really heavy stuff. You might see a slight bump on the Mi Pad 5 Pro here, which is, again, very impressive for the money. Now, let's talk software and accessibility. This guy here, the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, is running One UI. This particular one is running One UI 3.1. It's pretty fluid, super intuitive. Obviously, Samsung has been developing this guy here for years. And on the Mi Pad 5 Pro, what you have here is MIUI 12.5.2 is the version that I'm currently on here. Also very well implemented. And if you are familiar with what the MIUI looked like, then you know that it looks like Apple stuff, right? So it looks like an iPad OS. Very well implemented, as I would say, pretty fluid. But if you were looking for more of an Android experience, you might not like it just because of how much it looks like, iPad OS, right? And when it comes down to multitasking, you could do a good level of multitasking with the Mi Pad 5 Pro here. You also have a PC mode, which is an app that you can download and be able to, use this to do some, to a certain extent, as a laptop or as a computer, but it's pretty limited. Obviously I'll say they're still young in the game compared to what Samsung, has done with Samsung DeX, right, over the years. It's so advanced that not even Apple can match it, right? When it comes down to just the flexibility of multitasking and doing so many things, this is so far ahead from this guy. So the Tab S7 Plus, multitasking ability, the USB Type-C port, the ability to just connect that to an external monitor and be able to toggle back and forth, push out, project, extend your content from here to an external monitor. That is something that the Mi Pad 5 Pro just cannot match. It simply cannot match. So when it comes down to productivity, yeah, this is way behind this one over here. Again, both tablets are loaded with some pretty high specs here. So when it comes down to gaming, obviously heavy games would be just fine on either one of these two tablets. You will be fine. Now, playing a game on such a large tablet, if you don't have a controller, it feels weird. This fits better in the hand, 11 inches. If you don't have a controller and you want to hold the tablet as the controller and play, it's a little bit more enjoyable. However, if you do have a controller, this is super fun. Just, the quality, obviously being an OLED display, top level specs. It has 120 hertz, supports 120 hertz. So does this one. So gaming, very, very nice on either one of these two here. Now let's go ahead and talk cameras. As far as cameras go, you have pretty much similar specs. On the back here, you have a 13 and a 5 megapixel as far as main cameras on either one of the two tablets here. And on the front, you actually also have 8 megapixel camera. The Mi Pad 5 Pro has its camera located at the top there, which is kind of an old way of doing it. Most new tablets, and I believe iPad Pro still does that also, most new tablets have them at the top so that you can hold them in landscape mode. So let's say if you're chatting with a family, you're video calling someone, you can hold your tablet like this. It just feels a little bit more natural rather than holding it, standing up this way. Again, very similar specs with those two cameras, and they can shoot up to 4K video, so you can do 4K videos on either one of these tools. Now, when it comes out, you may be familiar with this. Samsung tends to a little bit oversaturate some of its images, and just I don't know if I want to call that oversaturating, but either way, colors tend to pop more beyond the fact that it's an OLED display. You know, if you were to take pictures, video, and all that stuff, colors just tend to pop a little bit more on here, and that's why I prefer, you know, image quality, you know, pictures and videos taken with this tablet. But if you were to buy either one for camera purposes, you'll be just fine. This one also takes some pretty good pictures. Now let's go ahead and talk battery. This guy here is loaded with 10,090 milliamp battery. That's a fairly large battery, you know, obviously for a large target, and that can last you up to 14 hours. Here you have an 8600 milliamp battery, and this is obviously an 11 inches tablet, and it will last you, I don't remember what the exact number of hours, but either way, these are, you know, they can last you for a full day. Same here, same deal here. I end up day here with about 15 to 20% left, whereas here I have about, I'd say about 15% left also. So it's going to depend on your type of usage, right? So if you use heavy stuff and you constantly on your laptop, you're a power user on your tablet, and you're a power user, obviously you're going to kill the battery faster, or you can last longer than with me. But in either case, regular usage is definitely going to last you, and at the end of the day, you will have something left. Now, both tablets do support styluses. The Xiaomi Pen would work with both the Mi Pad 5 Pro here and the regular Mi Pad 5, and the Galaxy Tab S7 obviously has a Samsung S Pen that works with it, which is the most modern Samsung S Pen that you can find out there. And when it comes down to just S Pen, the Samsung S Pen is pretty much the best when it comes down to productivity, additional features, and versatility. Those three things, you won't really find anything that comes close to that. And I know that the Apple Pencil 2nd Gen is a good pencil, but quite a few people are a huge fan of that, you know, when it comes down to drawing and taking down notes and all that good stuff. But still, again, I specify that when it comes to additional features, productivity, so what you use with your pen, what you do with your product, you know, with your pen, and just the flexibility that it offers, no other, at least in my humble opinion, no other styluses out there come close. A bunch of people actually tend to say that all of the extra features, the extra stuff that the S Pen does is just all gimmicks, but no, they actually have very practical uses, but we're not gonna get into that. I ordered a pen for this guy, the stylus for the Mi Pad 5 Pro, coming from China, because the tablet itself, I did order it from China, but I'm ending up just getting a refund because either it got lost, the seller came up with the story, I don't know what's happening, so I got my money. I don't even know that I want to order it again. I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait till it hits the global market and I order it then. But either way, I've been watching videos and also, you know, checking different forums about the Mi Pad 5 Pro here, and no one has said that it's better than the S Pen offered by the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here. That's just my way of saying that I haven't used the stylus for the Mi Pad 5 Pro, but I seriously doubt that it's better than the S Pen that is, you know, that comes with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here, because the S Pen is literally, I would say, the best as of now, right? But then again, that's just my take, right? So let's go ahead and stop this video here. I'm pretty sure it's a long video. All right, so I'm gonna close this by saying this. If you're looking for a flagship tablet with pretty much top level everything, go for the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. It's not gonna be cheap, right? It's not gonna be cheap. It's not gonna be as cheap as this. It's actually gonna be double the price of this guy, or almost double the price of this guy, but it will offer you everything you need, especially if you're someone who is, you know, big in productivity stuff. You stay away from this guy and you go for this guy. However, if you are looking for a tablet that has flagship specs and a bunch of other flagship features at a super affordable price, this guy here is impressive. You know, in fact, the chipset is slightly higher than this, right? Nothing crazy noticeable, but still higher than that. So if you're looking for something affordable that will offer you some pretty flagship specs, including one thing that I forgot, which is that the battery is fast charge at up to 67 watt, right? So that's a pretty impressive feature there. So this guy here, the Mi Pad 5 Pro, will offer you that. But I doubt that people who are looking at the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus also looking at the Mi Pad 5 Pro, because they're just so different, right? OLED panel, huge, you know, display here, and productivity level just on another planet on here. But anyways, that's just my take. I'm certainly hoping that you found this informative, that you found this video informative. Make sure, of course, to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. Let me know what your thoughts are on this comparison. Where do you stand, right? I don't take parts here. I just review tablets. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.